Hey there, today I want to talk about how we can reverse a given message using Python. And if you don't have any experience with Python, that's completely okay. This is quite simple and should be easy to follow along. And it's also a good entry point if you are interested in programming. Okay, so the reverse message is this, and when we complete our program, the result should be this. Okay, so the message that's given to us is a list. That's what we call this, a list of characters, and in other programming languages that's also called as arrays. But for this I'm going to refer to it as list because in Python arrays are referred to as lists. um, Before we dive into how we do this using Python, let's talk about doing this using hand. So when I say by hand, I mean what we will do uh, on a piece of paper in the real world to solve this problem. That's exactly what we're going to do right now. So let's maintain two pointers. That's the logic for solving this. The start pointer and end pointer. And start points at the first character, end points at the last character. And the logic is we will keep swapping the characters pointed by these pointers and then move these pointers to the right and left, and keep repeating the same process till these pointers don't overlap or till they don't cross each other. Okay, so right now we are going to swap E and A and then move start to the right and move end to the left, and then swap again, repeat the same process, move this to the right, move this to the left, swap the characters and move this to the right. uh, Let me move it right there and move this to the left. And now both the pointers point to the same character because they overlap. Now we are not going to swap anything and we will just stop our logic, and S remains where it is, and this turns out to be our reversed message. So that's the whole logic for for reversing a given message. And how do we do this in Python? We define a function. So Python function is defined by def followed by the name of the function. So the name of the function is reverse characters, which is something I came up with. This is a custom name, and then it's going to accept this message as input. So I added colon here because it says this is where the function starts, and because Python works using indentation, we are going to indent and write from here. So our piece of code that belongs inside this function is going to be here, and that's going to be start equal to 0. So what I'm doing here is I'm starting or initializing the start variable to 0, and when I say 0 I'm talking about the index or position of the characters. So let me change the color and write down index numbers right here: 0, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 and 6. Alright, and moving on to the next piece of code, which is end pointer or variable, and end variable says len of message. So len is an inbuilt Python function, and when we pass message to it, when we pass message to len function, it returns the length of the message. Note that length of the message is not 6, it's actually 7. Why? Because the length is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 and 7. So the length is 7 and we want to point end pointer to 6. So we will just minus 1 from it. Okay, so start is now at 0 and end is at 6. Next, we will use while loop to repeat the piece of code that we will write here. Okay, so while start is less than end, we will execute this piece of code which we are going to write now. The piece of code is message start and comma message end equals to message end comma message start. Alright, so what we are doing is we are swapping the start with end and end with start. Not exactly the index, but the characters at those indexes. And we will also, after doing that, increment the start pointer by 1 and decrement the end pointer by 1. And when start is greater than end, our program execution will stop, and that's when we return the result, which is the message. Alright, now that we have this program ready, let's run through this once again. Start is at 0 and end is at 6 because len minus 1, 7 minus 1 is 6. Alright, so start is less than end, correct, that's right. Then we swap. Okay, so let's swap the characters. Then we increment start. So let's make this 1 and we decrement end. So let's make this 5. And 1 is still less than 5, right? Start is less than end, so we again swap. So swapping will get us this. Oops, this. Okay, after swapping we increment this by 1 and decrement this by 1. Alright, then we again say 2 is less than 4, start is less than end, correct? So we go and do the same thing once again, swap the characters at 2 and 4. Okay, and then increment start and decrement end. So this becomes 3, this becomes 3. Alright, and then is start less than end? No, it's not less than end, it's equal to end. So we simply stop executing this piece of code and then come out of it and execute the next piece, which is this, which is where we return the reversed message. Okay, so the reversed message is this EMOSEWA. That's the reversed message, which is equal to this. So we are right, our program works. And that's all that I have to share in this video. I hope this is useful. I hope this was not too confusing. Let me know what you think about it in the comments, and I will see you in the next video. Thanks.